What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is December 20th, and we're gonna head down to the farm in southern Iowa, or the farms, and go do a little bit of thermal coyote hunting. So typically we don't start this time of year or this early in the year. Usually we wait until after all the deer seasons are closed. But the good news is this year we had a really good deer season, and most of our tags are filled. So we're gonna go do a little coyote hunting. And for whatever reason, we've had just an absolute abundance of coyotes this year. So we're gonna go try to get on them early and often. It is 22 degrees, 21, 22 degrees. Got a northeast wind out of 5 to 10. Should be a good night. I wish I could hunt tomorrow night instead, because it's a good south wind, or a decent south wind. Seems to be those warm-ups of those south winds. We usually just put the hurt into them. So I've got the ATN Thor 4 on top of my 223 AR, and going to be running the Lucky Duck Roughneck call tonight, just with their factory sounds. It's time to get after them. Hopefully tonight's productive, and we'll see you out there. So this first setup here is about a 3-acre cornfield that's been cut, and been taking quite a few pictures of coyotes that are pushing deer off of this field almost daily. And then there's been a cat that's been going through this opening here every couple days or so. So start off with some interrogation howls, and then gonna move over here into TNT and kind of run this out, and ended up running Psycho Bird and Kryptonite as well before leaving, just without any response. And a little tip for you guys just getting this: don't ever leave a set without running some sort of pup distress or pup fights. That's what Kryptonite is. All right, so first set over, unproductive. That happens sometimes. Had a pack that answered me on the neighboring farm. I did take a picture of coyotes on my way down. They were headed on the other side of the farm, headed north. So with the north wind, I had to be on the south side. I don't know if that was the reason because of it. I did catch movement inside the woods. I don't know if it was a coyote or a cat. It definitely was not a deer. It was low to the ground and moving quickly. But it never did come out into the cornfield. So we're gonna head over to my dad's place and go give it a roll over there. All right, so on the set here, this is overlooking about 100 acres of CRP and food plots. You guys can see all the deer that are out in here, but always gonna start with some sort of interrogation howls with these sets. And so running pair interrogation here, I actually am looking east here on a northeast wind, figuring that I walked in from the west, so there's gonna be no coyotes coming from my west, until I hear something running up behind me, and boom, all of a sudden there's a coyote out in the food plot. So not really knowing this coyote's attitude, and it obviously had just moved off, I decided to flip on a little TNT rabbit and see if I can get it to come back out of the grass and check out the food plot again. So fast forward here about 3 minutes, and I'm trying to figure out kind of what's going on with my scope. I'm having a little bit of trouble with the calibration. You can see the lines in it and like kind of that dark circle. So I try to get it fixed here in one of my breaks in my calling sequences. I usually run several breaks throughout, of 2 to 3 minute breaks, and then either run the same sound again or switch sounds. But during this break, just kind of keep scanning around, and as I'm going back to the west side of this food plot, I catch movement coming out of the northwest corner of it, coming out of the grass. So I'm going to try to get this coyote to stop here with a little bit of kissing noises, and obviously it doesn't work. But it does decide to give me a quartering away shot just inside the grass. And here's where the downfall of 223 comes in. You can see this coyote spinning. I'm waiting for it to come out of its spins. It finally does. It flushes a pheasant, and it gets real western real fast. So this is where a lot of guys make the mistake, and they end their set right here. Absolutely do not do that. Flip on some pup sounds. Again, we're running kryptonite, which is a pup fight sound, and boom, all of a sudden here comes another coyote. Again, I mean, obviously I've just fired off 5 rounds through suppressed 223, so it's not going to commit all the way, but decide to loft one out at it here. And a swing and a miss right over its back. Well, unfortunately, I wasn't able to find that coyote. So it's an issue with the 223s, especially at range. I've seriously considered building a 243 or like a 6.5 Creedmoor just to shoot coyotes with. I get tired of chasing them, and it's not an uncommon thing, unfortunately, with the 223 or the 5.56. So shooting a 60 grain soft point, I mean, like, it should do well, but for whatever reason, that coyote, like you saw in the video, got to spinning, thought it was going to go down, thought I'd hit it plenty hard enough, and obviously it was able to regain its composure and head down into the ditch. So we'll count it. There's no way that coyote's making it. I went down and searched with the thermal in the ditch, just couldn't find it. The problem is, too, is that the grass is so freaking tall still because we haven't had a heavy wet snow to mat it down, that it could be laying in the grass, and I just overlooked it. So I scanned for probably 30 minutes with the thermal and walked around down in there and stuff, and just couldn't come up with it. So part of the game, unfortunately, and might be a reason to buy a new gun or build a new one, or just switch over to my 6.5 PRC and really put the hurt into them, I guess. So we'll see you on the next one. Hopefully the next one goes a little bit better.